It's a raw winter night in downtown Toronto. Police lights splash crimson on cracked sidewalks as officers cuff a teenager caught spray painting a wall. But this isn't just about vandalism. It's an entry point into a web of social structures, power, and meaning behind crime. What drives a kid to risk it all? White and Lauren Eisler pull you beyond headlines into the messy, human core of criminology. Let's unpack the real story of crime's causes. Before blaming the culprit, we need a lens. White's book lays out a spectrum of theories, each revealing a different angle on why crime happens. It's like switching lenses on a camera, zoom in on individuals, zoom out on society itself. Take the case of John, a factory worker laid off during Canada's 1995 recession, who turns to petty theft. Classic theory labels John a rational actor weighing risk versus reward. His crime isn't chaos. It's a calculated choice driven by desperation and opportunity. Imagine society as a layered cake, where economic inequality is the bitter frosting between sweet layers. Structural theories argue that crime bubbles up because those at the bottom can't reach the top layers. White shows how poverty, poor education, and discrimination stack the deck and fuel criminal behavior. Then comes the twist. What actually defines crime? Critical theories expose that laws are made by the powerful to keep their status safe. White illustrates this by citing how Indigenous protesters in Canada are often criminalized, while corporate crimes get a slap on the wrist. Crime, it turns out, is political. Theory isn't just ivory tower stuff. White's third edition grounds it in fresh, often Canadian, cases. These stories twist what you thought you knew about criminals and victims and how society reacts. Look at the recent case in Vancouver's downtown East Side, where youth gang members aren't just predators. They're kids boxed in by hopelessness and community neglect. White shows these gangs as survivalist networks, not merely criminal enterprises, challenging us to see the people behind the headlines. Contrast that with Nordell's 2000s accounting scandal. White unpacks how white-collar criminals operate within elite circles, their crimes invisible to many. It's not brazen theft but slow-moving fraud, like termites eating a wooden foundation, systemic, concealed, yet devastating. Then consider restorative justice initiatives led by Indigenous groups in Manitoba. Here, crime isn't about punishment alone, but healing communities fractured by external control. White reveals how reclaiming Indigenous legal traditions offers radical alternatives to Canada's mainstream justice system. So why wrestle with these theories and stories? Because crime impacts us all, and understanding it means better policies, safer communities, and a fairer society. White and Eisler offer not just explanations, but hope and direction. In Ottawa, after a spike in gang violence, policymakers used insights from multiple criminologies to craft programs mixing policing with youth mentorship and job training. White highlights this blend as proof theory can lead to real-world impact, more than just cold statistics. By revealing systemic racial biases in policing and sentencing, White and Eisler push for critical self-reflection in justice systems. It's like steering a ship. If you don't notice the current pushing you sideways, you'll never reach your destination. Finally, White spotlights community-led initiatives, like the Toronto Community Mobilization Network, which empowers citizens to identify local crime causes and craft solutions. Crime fighting becomes less about control, more about engagement and healing. That teenager in Toronto spray painting a wall, he's not just a criminal. He's a product of choices, structures, and systems layered over years and decades. White and Lauren Eisler show us a way to see crime with new eyes, human, systemic, and changeable. Next time you hear a crime story, pause and ask, what social forces play a part? Try this. Talk with someone about crime beyond headlines. See where that conversation goes. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.